The Olympics are coming up, and the world is abuzz. Countries are forming their Olympic teams. However, the U.S. might face some problems. From figuring out a five-man squad for the Olympics to Nedoroscik solving Rubik's Cubes on the side, things are getting pretty wild on the international front. Don't worry though, we'll tell you everything you need to know. Firstly, what exactly is the problem here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it is. The 2022 Olympic Games are being held in Paris, and with it come significant changes to the rule set for the events. The Games are reverting back to a five-man team format, so naturally, since spots are limited to represent your country on a bigger world stage, coaches are looking to select more well-rounded individuals as opposed to event specialists. This is where things get tricky for our man Nedoroscik. See, Steven is a specialist on the pommel horse. In fact, he holds an individual world title for the event, which is no small feat. He's even competing in the nationals this week for about 90 seconds. Imagine that, 90 seconds to win it all. The selection process is set to take place in October, with a committee being appointed that will finalize a five-man team for the World Championships. The goal here, apparently, is to produce the highest team score in the finals, with 3 gymnasts out of the 5 performing in each of the 6 events. Now, while Nedoroscik's pommel horse score would aid the U.S. in propelling their score upwards, it is, after all, only one event out of the 18 that will be available during the finals. Nick was heard to be considering picking up the parallel rings and bars, but it has also been around 6 years since he has competed in another event, and him being a specialist and all makes it very unlikely. Next up, how likely is Nedoroscik to compete at the Paris Olympics? As stated above, in order for Steven to be able to participate in the 2024 Olympic Games, he'll have to increase his repertoire in terms of gymnastic events. Sure, he can still keep the pommel horse as his main event, but there's no doubt he'll need to up his game for other events if he wants any chance of competing in the upcoming Olympics. The good news for Steven is the fact that the team selectors have also to scout a gymnast's ability to win a medal, which is, in the end of it, what the Olympics are all about. If Nedoroscik manages to perform well in a selection camp and then in the October event, Nick might still stand a good chance. The very fact that Nick is also the current world champ of his current event plays a big role in bumping up his chances of getting selected. Further good news for the champion includes the fact that the U.S. took a specialist to the last 2 World Championship events, so this next one might not prove to be any different. Coming up, what's Steven Nedoroscik done to prove his worth? Well, first off, Nedoroscik went ahead and won the World Championship in Japan for the pommel horse event last year in spectacular fashion. It's important to note that this was the U.S.'s first World Championship, so that's a pretty big landmark in the world of gymnastics right there. The win didn't come without its challenges, though. Nick reported having lost passports and even suffered from an illness during the Games. To top it all off, the man competed with an injured hand and still managed to grab the world champion title. This resulted in him being put in a cast for the next 10 months. Talk about dedication to your calling, huh? Steven became the 3rd ever American to win a medal in the pommel horse event, that too bringing home sweet, sweet gold. He joined the likes of Kurt Thomas and Alexander Artemev, meaning the last time the U.S. took home any medal was back in 2006. His other achievements include the fact that he won a silver medal in 2019 for the pommel horse event in the U.S. Championships, posted the nation's highest points in the last 5 years on the pommel horse event with a score of 15.9, and has been a member of the U.S. national team for over 5 years. Finally, what'll be Nedoroscik's fate? Okay, so considering his tremendous achievements both on the international and national front, chances are that Steven might actually end up representing the U.S. team at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. The man has clearly proven himself time and time again. He holds numerous records, the highest point average in one of the hardest events in gymnastics there is, and has been a diligent part of the U.S. national gymnastics team for over 3 years. His world title alone holds a lot of weight and might be enough to convince U.S. selectors that he's a man to have on their team. While we can't predict the future, we can certainly speculate, and as of right now, things are looking up for Nedoroscik. Now, in other news, Fraser manages to bag all-around gold in the European Championships in Munich. Fraser didn't get off to a very good start, as he began the competition with a not-so-awesome floor routine that made a lot of fans count him out almost immediately. Now, it's important to understand that he'd suffered from his fair share of injuries throughout the year, such as an injured ankle and the oh-so-troublesome appendix. Not a very good start for the soon-to-be crowned champion. However, again, this is how champions are made. Their never-give-up attitude and work ethic get them the gold, and that's exactly what Fraser managed to pull off. He pulled off an amazing routine on the pommel and the parallel bars, and this allowed him to not only get back on his feet, but it put him in a place to win it all. He did just that as he stepped up to the high bars, requiring a score of 13.2 and instead bringing it home with a score of 13.7. What a way to end the night, huh? Fraser was heard telling reporters about how this was a dream come true for him. We know everyone on the U.S. coaching staff popped a few bottles of champagne in his honor. He really stepped up when they needed him and proved why he was the best that night. Next up, a British gymnast has an allergy scare right before competing in the European Championships. The European Championships in Munich had a lot of big moments, and one of them included British gymnast Courtney Tulloch almost being rendered unable to compete after he had a scare with nut allergies a while before the competition. The worst part is that he didn't even know he had them, so if he had been alone, they could have proved to be fatal. His teammate, Joe Fraser, noticed him struggling to breathe and immediately called a doctor, ensuring his friend would live to see another day. Apparently, he suffered the reaction the night before the final events in Munich. Allegedly, he'd taken one bite of his noodles before deciding that they weren't for him and decided to instead go back to his room and go to bed. He was sharing his room with Joe Fraser, who noticed his face was swollen like a balloon and decided to call the team doctor before things got messy. Fortunately for everyone involved, Tulloch was able to make a full recovery from his nutty experience and competed in the games the next day and even managed to bag a gold medal. Who would have thought? Finally, Wales managed to snag their 5th gold medal thanks to Gemma Frizzell. Wales is a gymnastics powerhouse, and thanks to rhythmic gymnastics star Gemma Frizzell, they managed to collect their 5th gold medal and dominate at the Commonwealth Games. In total, they've managed to win 5 gold medals, 5 silver medals, and 13 bronze medals, making it a total of 23 medals. Talk about winning it all. These were Frizzell's 2nd ever games, and she managed to beat Cyprian Anna Sokolova for the gold. The newcomer managed to deliver big and offer an amazing performance. She was heard telling reporters that she initially came in the hope of just grabbing any medal in general, so we were all pleasantly surprised when she managed to step up big time and win it all that night. She talked about how her entire local club from Llanelli was present to support her, and she couldn't have been more thankful. Maybe it was the fact that she had so many close peers and friends cheering her on that lent her the strength to land such an incredible win. Being only 20 years old, she's actually quite young as compared to the other athletes present at the games, so this could be the start of something great for the Wales superstar. Wales may also have other medals in their future in the likes of boxing and table tennis respectively. Table tennis duo Charlotte Carey and Anna Hersey are through to the semis of the Commonwealth Games, so let's see if they can shower the Welsh team with more gold. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Steven Nedoroscik will represent the US in the 2024 Olympics? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.